And still to come on the music front. There we go. So that song's coming your way. And now it's time for Midweek Moment. Thanks for choosing CCFM this Wednesday morning. So I'm sure you've experienced it. That moment when somebody asked you a question and you're like, really? Isn't it obvious? So we've been reading as a family in the Gospels and reading that portion of Scripture just, I think, 2 nights ago about where Jesus goes to the pool of Bethesda. And there's this guy who's been lame for 38 years. Now, 38 years, when you read it and you say it, and it's like, well, 38 years, yeah. But just put it into perspective for a moment. For 38 years, he was either born that way or shortly after he was born, he became lame. And for 38 years, he was struggling and begging and having to get by. And Jesus comes to this guy and says, do you want to get well? Do you want to be healed? It's like, really? What? Huh? So I'm sure you've read that portion of Scripture too. And you've also had that question of like, why would Jesus ask such an obvious question? Surely the guy would be like, yes, yes, yes. But you see, this is where the context comes in. Because in that time, in that place, in Jerusalem, the people of Jerusalem would understand and would operate from a place of, you know what, if I support those who beg, then I'm actually doing something good. And because I'm doing something good, God is pleased with me. So it's kind of like a extra sacrifice. It's like a extra something. And so that man, for 38 years, all he knew was begging. He knew his condition, he knew his restrictions, and that was that. And so it's so important for us to understand when Jesus asks him, do you want to be healed? It's not just a, hey, do you want to be healed? It's actually, do you want to change your life? Does your life, are you ready for your life to be changed completely? Now, I don't know about you, but if my life had to be changed completely, I think it would be a little bit awkward. I might be like, no, I'm not really ready for that yet. You know what I mean? God, could we plan it? Could you tell me exactly how it's going to be changed? Or, could we plan it for 6 months from now? And you see, that's the thing. God doesn't force us to do something. He gives us free will. He gave us free will. That was something he gave us from the very beginning. So you can choose. You can choose to stay where you are. You can choose to stay hurt or wounded or lame or whatever it is and stay in that place and never change. It's your choice, you see. God will never force you. He is a gentleman. So when it comes to the whole thing of dealing with those hurts, when it comes to that reality of, Lord, I want change. I want to see change. God is typically going to start with you and with me. He's going to change us before he changes our circumstances. So do you want to get healed? Do you want your life to change? And then to accept the consequences of those changes. Because taking you back to that pool of Bethesda, and just think about it. It's this pool. There were 2 pools in Jerusalem. Bethesda, I think, in the north, if I remember correctly, and one in the south. And the pools were where news happened. It was the place where it was happening. So there was no longer any doubt. If he got healed and if he said yes to Jesus, that his life would be changed, and not just him would be changed, but those people around him and in the city would realize, hey, but wasn't this the guy that was lame? And again, if you read the scriptures, you will know and realize that's exactly what happened. So it's in those moments where God changes us, where we say yes to him changing us, when we say yes to him healing us. And then we trust him for the future. That man at 38 had no learned skills other than begging. He was not an apprentice or a carpenter or anything like that. He had just been a beggar, and now his life was going to change. And so he had to really trust that God not only would heal him, but that God would help him into his new future, into that new road that he was taking. So as you contemplate whatever that hurt is, whatever that thing is that you've been through, I want to ask you this: accept the healing, allow God to change it, and allow God to change your future destination. May you be richly blessed as you go into the rest of your day.